Welcome back to the show, everyone.
Thanks for joining us today.
Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unraveling a story that honestly feels like it was ripped straight from the pages of a true crime thriller. But crazy enough, it is entirely real. We're looking at the massive compromise of India's biggest medical entrance exam, the NEET UG 2026. This isn't just a story about a leaked test, right? It's really about a massive breach of trust in the very system that trains our future doctors. We're going to look at the anatomy of this organized syndicate, the sheer vulnerabilities of physical test distribution, and of course, the nationwide manhunt led by the CBI. To really grasp the scale of what happened here, you just have to look at this number, 2.2 million. Over 22 lakh aspiring medical students took the NEET UG exam on May 3rd, spread across 551 cities in India and 14 overseas centers. Think about that for a second. These students spent years preparing, absolutely burning the midnight oil, completely unaware that the very test they were taking had already been fundamentally compromised days before they even walked into the exam hall. The stakes for these kids were absolutely colossal. So when the National Testing Agency, the NTA, abruptly canceled the examination following early reports of a leak out in Rajasthan, it literally sent shockwaves across the country. Millions of honest students were just left in absolute disbelief. And this unprecedented cancellation, it immediately kicked off a massive, high-stakes CBI manhunt to find the mastermind who broke the system. Section 1. Unmasking the Inside Man. So, the CBI quickly identified the alleged kingpin as a man named P.V. Kulkarni. Now, Kulkarni wasn't some shadowy hacker or a notorious gangster. No, he was a retired chemistry professor, originally from Latur. He spent 3 decades in academia. But more importantly, he was a trusted domain expert sitting right on the National Testing Agency's paper-setting panel. I mean, he was literally the person who translated the chemistry section of the exam into Marathi. He was the ultimate inside man. And that brings us to a crucial point. This wasn't a sophisticated digital hack. Nobody was breaking through firewalls or, decrypting secure servers. This was a devastating exploitation of privileged insider access. Kulkarni had authorized access to the sealed question papers simply because the system trusted him. And he totally abused that trust to breach the integrity of an exam that's meant to be a level playing field for millions of people. Section 2. The secret Pune classes. You'd normally think a nationwide leak requires some super complex logistics, right? But instead of distributing easily traceable printed sheets or, sending PDFs over WhatsApp, Kulkarni allegedly partnered with a middleman, Manisha Wagmar, to run exclusive, highly priced, special coaching classes. These were held right out of his own residence in Pune in late April, just days before the exam. Students paid several lakhs of rupees just to get a seat. And what actually happened in these classes? Well, there were no spy gadgets. Kulkarni literally just stood there and dictated the questions, the multiple choice options, and the correct answers. The students simply wrote them down in their everyday spiral notebooks. Now, this incredibly low-tech approach was clearly designed to fly under the radar, but ironically, it became the ultimate smoking gun. When the CBI raided locations and seized these student notebooks, they found that the handwritten notes exactly tallied with the actual chemistry section of the official NEET UG 2026 exam paper. I mean, word for word. This proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that the paper was stolen directly from the source and monetized as a highly lucrative commercial product. Section 3. Unraveling the exam mafia. Just look at how rapidly this whole thing escalated. In late April, the leak happens quietly in Pune. May 3rd hits, and the exam goes ahead as planned. But then, just 4 days later, on May 7th, the Rajasthan Special Operations Group flags an issue after finding a highly suspicious guess paper that perfectly matched the actual test. Boom. By May 12th, the central government hands the entire case over to the CBI. Within days, multiple arrests are made, culminating in the capture of the kingpin himself, Kulkarni, in mid-May. It literally went from a localized secret to a nationwide crackdown in a matter of weeks. Through their investigation, the CBI uncovered a massive exam mafia supply chain. It's actually crazy how it worked. Here's how the paper traveled. Kulkarni was the source. He passed it to his middleman, Wagmare, who actually operated a beauty parlor as a front. She then passed it to a consultancy operator named Lokhande. From there, it went to Kyrgyzstan and Nashik, who packaged about 500 to 600 questions and sent them straight to a seller named Yadav in Gurugram. Finally, Yadav sold it to buyers, like the Baraval family in Jaipur, who paid a staggering 10 to 12 lakh rupees just to secure the paper for their sons. That is a massive amount of money. And when we map out these arrest locations, Pune, Latur, Nashik, Ahilyanagar, stretching all the way to Jaipur and Gurugram, it becomes alarmingly clear that this was not just some isolated incident. No way. This was a highly organized, heavily networked syndicate, specifically designed to move illicit information across state lines for massive, massive profit. Section 4. What happens next? So we're looking at 22 lakh affected students whose lives have basically been put on hold. The immediate response from the Ministry of Education is naturally damage control to protect those students. A re-examination has been scheduled for June 21st. For this retest, they're actually retaining the pen and paper format, mostly because changing the entire infrastructure in just a few weeks is frankly impossible. But to ensure fairness and to try and ease the incredible stress these candidates are under, the exam duration has been increased by 15 minutes, and, crucially, absolutely no extra fees will be charged for taking it again. However, applying a Band-Aid isn't enough, and the authorities know it. To prevent future breaches, the Education Minister announced a major systemic reform. Starting next year, the highly vulnerable paper and pen mode is going to be entirely replaced by a computer-based test, or CBT. The logic here is pretty straightforward. By digitizing the exam, authorities are hoping to completely eliminate those physical vulnerabilities. I mean, think about it. Physical papers have to be printed, packaged, transported across the entire country in trucks, stored in bank vaults, and finally opened at exam centers. Every single physical touchpoint in that journey is a gap in the supply chain where a bad actor can potentially intervene. A computer-based test is designed to dismantle the very infrastructure that allows this exam mafia to thrive in the first place. But as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this final, really provocative thought. We all know technology solves a lot of problems, right? But it almost always creates new ones. Will this digital pivot to a computer-based test finally secure the integrity of India's most critical exams? Or are we simply changing the rules of a very dangerous, highly lucrative game, pushing the exam mafia to evolve from physical smuggling straight into digital hacking? Actually, scratch that. It's almost guaranteed they'll try. Only time will tell if the system can stay one step ahead. Thank you for joining me, and as always, keep questioning the systems around you.
Want to know the secret to getting into a top MBBS university abroad without breaking the bank? Just type MBBS abroad or study abroad and send us a WhatsApp message right now. Get a free consultation call with our study abroad experts and discover lowest fee universities, NMC approved colleges, complete admission process free. Don't let confusion hold you back. Message MBBS abroad today and start your medical journey. Link in description. Hurry, limited slots available.